Every piece holds part of the story, and it is either black, white, or both. Because that is life. We have the white memories and the black memories, and we cannot appreciate the good times without having experienced the bad. Every piece has its own shadow. Every piece has its own place. The pieces might be hard to identify where they belong, and they might remain that way. It is hard to build a picture that you do not know, and by asking others to describe it for you will only make it harder, as you might notice the layers of hidden truth, making it impossible that you'll ever get to the full picture. Every piece is a memory that we have lived and have shaped us in one way or another. Analyzing each and every piece won't get you anywhere. Take a step back and see your masterpiece that each piece makes up for. It might have missing pieces that have fallen by time through memory or death, resulting in an empty space, the lacuna. These empty spaces are breathing spaces for the viewer to fill, using his or her own piece. It is the way we live together, sharing some same pieces, being part of each other's story. The satisfaction of putting the pieces together is the same as flipping the pages of the photo album. The only downside of a photograph is that it doesn't talk back to you. That is what Grandpa said with a broken voice while looking over a photo of his loving mother. Grandpa is an important piece to my story, and knowing that the piece might fall with time is scary, but keeping the memory alive by capturing the photos today, I might be able to make it stick longer, and that way it would never go deaf to me. This lacuna, this missing piece, is a metaphor to your life. You can make it up to be whatever you want. I am inviting you to interpret the photos with you in them. This lacuna might remain an empty space, a void of lost information, but this is an opportunity where you can fill the space through your perspective. I didn't find my hair color in my family albums, neither the shape of my nose, and in this need of belonging, I impose my identity in them, just like those one-off photos of a newborn that get between the pages of an old album. Somehow, these people in the album shaped my existence in one way or another. It is a mystery of how their impact in the family tree intertwined perfectly in my life. Some taking a bigger piece and others are only a small piece in the corner. Nevertheless, both are important for a complete picture, for me to be who I am. Family albums show us our roots, from where we came from, and these help us to appreciate where we are. This is the story of how a jigsaw puzzle is a metaphoric storyline to old family albums. A jigsaw puzzle is meant to be built piece by piece to reveal the bigger picture, and so is the photograph. However, a photograph will never reveal the whole picture because it is so complex that it is impossible to make. This just creates a new level of interaction, the one in which the viewer that didn't see any visual connection between him and the past have the opportunity to create his own. Flipping through these albums is a therapy of accepting change. Albums are a proof of what has been and what is not anymore, and with each turn of the page we are accepting what has been and trying to make sense of it by what we know in the present. We try to recognize the people in the photographs, and also we might try to find ourselves in them through genetic inheritance. But it might be that these people look strangers to you because you cannot recognize what is supposed to be familiar to us. These people have changed a lot and they show us a completely different reality of what is normal to us. Mom wasn't a mother yet, and Grandpa wasn't a grandpa yet. This created a barrier between me and the photographs because I do not know the people that they depict to be in those photographs. So how could I ever feel that I belong if I don't see any resemblance between me and them, and the present with the past? This process gets harder by noticing the altered reality that the people in the photographs impose themselves to be by putting a smile on the cue of 1, 2, 3. It made me question the truth, and there was no reliable answers that I could believe because I need to see to believe. I was not going to let these photographs and their lies to tell me where I came from or who I am. How was I to trust them? Suddenly, these photographs were a police case, trying to justify who's telling the truth and who's lying. Someone there made me conscious that we have many different roles in society that we need to go by. Each role demands a different mask, one for being a daughter, one for when I'm in class, and one for when I'm on my workspace, another for when I am in mass. It makes sense because who wants to portray himself as a set figure inside a photograph that was taken specifically to be glued inside a family album? We push our best self forward to make a good impression, and these family albums are trying their best just for me. However, this dismantled any bridges that I could have used to get me to the past. When I was about to give up on these albums, I saw something familiar in each photograph. The photographs captured objects that were caught in frame unconsciously with the main subjects. These objects looked familiar to me because I've known them all my life. They were still part of my grandparents' furniture, such as the radio that still occupied the same spot on the kitchen table, the doll that lives on the grandparents' old bed, together with other objects like the drinking tray and the bikini bottle. This made me mourn on the absent objects that were thrown away. Here I am referring to Grandpa's old brownie box. This camera was the start of the family albums, and its loss made it seem more important because this camera had seen and captured the past and now it's gone. This missing object resulted in no link for me to go back to the time when Grandpa was still a young and adventurous chap. Another object that I found were my grandparents' wedding clothes. Being able to wear my grandmother's wedding dress, basically the source of my existence, was a fairy tale. If it wasn't for this dress, I would not be here. Grandma wore this dress 58 years ago, when she was 19 years old, a year younger than me. It made me connect with her even more because she wore it when she was just my age. And although it was a different time period, I could imagine what she felt wearing that dress. These objects that I could touch transported me back in time, because these objects that have seen the past but are still with me in the future, looking intact and feel reliable and trustworthy, that I could believe them in telling me what has been, what they have seen in the past. The objects are a part of who I am. People shape us, objects shape us, and the photograph is a proof of all these shapes and shaping. They are a reminder of what might has been, but what we do with them is all about today. Today I am here, and you just witnessed my journey, and like it or not, you are now a part of it too. Thank you.